Hi everybody, this is Mary Stock, and this week I have got a report on Christian and how he's doing in his last three games with his new boss, Bosz. And also I've got a little news note at the end, so don't leave it before the end because you're going to be surprised. Let's start at Bosz. I told you last time, or the time I talked about Bosz and Christian, is that he wants attack, 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 dominate, dominate, dominate. Remember Cruyff's philosophy? He is the personification of it. All right. Well, Dortmund took a trip to China, as you all may have known, along with many other teams. And Dortmund played an Italian powerhouse by the name of AC Milan. Now, well, I had to laugh when I saw the headlines because just exactly as I told you, Pulisic dominates Milan. Why was he dominating number one? And how did he dominate number two? Well, number one is why he was dominating. The reason why is I'm sure, I don't think he's read Cruyff's history. But maybe he read up on him. I don't know. But I will say that I'm sure Bosz has been telling them in the first couple of weeks that he's known them that I want you to attack, 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 dominate, dominate, dominate. Okay? And then Christian is very smart. He knows he's being watched. He knows that this all depends, how his success here depends on how Bosz sees him in this preseason. So they get to China, and Christian, nobody else, they didn't say anybody else is dominating, dominating, dominating. Christian, Pulisic dominates Milan. Oh, I thought that was so funny. But it's so true. Christian knows how to get ahead, and that is to give the guy what he wants. So he did, and this was incredible. There were, I think it was 3-1. There were 3 goals in it, and Christian was involved in every single one. Now, how did he get involved in every single one? He got involved in every single one because he was dominating, dominating, dominating. He was up there all the time. He was near the goal. He was in the action, so that when a goal occurred, he set it up or he earned the penalty. So that's exactly what happened. 2 assists and 1 earned penalty, 1 for Dortmund, and Christian was the one who set them up and who earned the penalty. So isn't that exciting? But I told you. And when I saw that headline, I couldn't stop laughing. Then they get back to Germany, and they have friendlies, of course. And there's one called Vfl Bochum, B-O-C-H-U-M. It's a 2 Bundesliga and team, and they had a friendly with them. Well, didn't Dortmund get a surprise? It starts out with Bosz deciding he wants to mix things up. He's going to try and experiment with things, right? So he experimented. The first team did not go in the first half. They had different people go in. Some of the first team went in and were paired up with somebody else who was not first team. And what happened is I wouldn't say total confusion, but they weren't able to get it together. They weren't able to pull it together. And so they're all chaos, confusion, what can I say? 1 goal after the other. Bochum is ahead 2-0. Yeah, 2-0. And this is Dortmund number 3 in the Bundesliga. And Bochum is some little thing I've never even heard of. Bosz decides very wisely, I assure you, very wisely, he decided to bring in the first team in the second half. Now, it appears that Christian, he may have come in this only in the second half, or he may have been in there in both halves. I don't know. But he was not subbed in on the second half. So it looks to me like he was in there, which is a great sign. I'll tell you, this is why. It looks like Bosz has learned to depend on Christian. And no matter what he experiments with, he's got to have a couple of steadfast guys in there that he knows can produce. And I have a feeling Christian was at least one of them. I wouldn't know who the other was. So this is very good for looking ahead. Number one, it's really a compliment to Christian. And number two, it looks like Christian is pretty solid right now. And it's because he knows how to impress Bosz. And the others don't. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. There was no headline for them. There was the headline, Pulisic dominates. That was for AC Milan. Okay, so there's in the second half, and pretty much the first team pulled things together right away. And they started going, but they couldn't make any goals. Bochum was really good. And their defense must have been really something because they couldn't make goals. So, it's Christian's time to impress again. It went on and on and on. Before, well, first of all, Castro got a goal in the 85th minute, and right behind him, Christian got a goal in the 87th minute, and it pulled them to a draw. And otherwise, tiny Bochum would have beaten Dortmund. I mean, if there's anything crazier, I don't know. But next Bochum will be applying for admission into Bundesliga 1. Say, listen, we beat Dortmund. That should count for something, right? So those two, sometimes you get a lot of fun out of some of these games where you don't know what to expect of the opponent. And those were the two. I was just so excited and happy. And okay, so we've got another thing, and that's this. Haji Wright at Schalke 04 is going back to, he's not going back because he wasn't in the under-19s. He's going into the under-23s. Now, this is a little bit of a setback because, remember, I told you, he just got put into the first team. But when he was in China, his performance in China was what did him in. He didn't do well enough in China, even though he came back and had 4 out of the 9 goals in a game. A high number of goals. So there must be other stuff that goes with being a striker that they say is not good enough, besides the fact that they have an excellent striker over there. It also, looking at the silver lining, it means that he is a prime candidate for loan out. And with a loan to maybe a 2 Bundesliga team, he might be able to pull up his performance and get back in. Now, I've seen that in the last 3 years since I've been looking. I've seen it a few times. I'm hoping that he's a very impressive looking guy, really tall and big and everything. He's got it in him. They said he does. They said he just needs to work harder. And he's not used to working, being over in the US of A, I think, playing for so-and-so over there. Good news, Weston McKennie is staying with the first team. They have said impressed things about him on every everything I've looked at from the very beginning. He is a leader type. He is one of the 98ers. You know what the 98ers are, right? The guys born in 1998 in the US of A who are in soccer. Christian being by far the best. He's the personification of the 98ers. So he's still there, and he's still doing well, apparently. So we'll still have more paragraphs, more chapters, more books about them. Watch the Gold Cup. I'm not going to. There are none of the MNT players from Germany in it. But look at Clint. Clint, they're putting in the second half only, so he doesn't get worked out too much. It takes too much out of him. And then he gets in and boom, 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 he makes goals like crazy. So watch him, all right? So I'll see you next time. This is Mary Stock, signing off.